Welcome to My Skeptical Sister.
I'm Megan the Skeptical One.
I'm Erin the Believer, and we've decided we're going to take this week off.
It's the holidays. It's so busy.
It's the holiday season. Give us a break. We're moms.
Yes, we have been playing Santa Claus and fake magic.
Oh,
For the last month, it's been horrible.
oh my gosh. It's been a nightmare.
It's been lovely. It's been fine, but we still need time off.
That's right. So we have decided we are going to re-release one of our favorite episodes, Full Moon Energy.
Yes, we both love this episode because the story is so good.
Yeah, it is a wild story. It's what I'm like, listen, I've never heard a podcast where they tell a firsthand, Lala choose the story. Let's do it.
Amazing.
So we're going to re-release this one. If you've already listened to it, then you could skip it or just listen to it again because, it's fun.
Might as well.
Right? What else are you doing?
Spending time with family.
You're probably doing that. I just heard about a cheese and bread week. Have you heard about this?
No, sign me up.
It's the week after Christmas.
You had me at cheese. I don't even need the bread. That's just the vessel.
You do as little as possible purposefully. And for some reason, they call it cheese and bread week.
And
I don't
eat cheese
know
and
why.
bread, I'd imagine.
You're supposed to graze. You're not supposed to cook.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down. So while you're doing that, listen to our podcast. Listen to Full Moon Energy again.
I love that. When does this week start?
Like the 26th.
Okay. Well, there we go.
All right. Love you guys.
Let me tell you a story.
Welcome to My Skeptical Sister.
I'm Megan the Skeptical One.
I'm Erin the Believer.
And I finally figured out something that I do 100% believe in.
What? Sasquatch. We know.
Well, okay, I believe in some things, but I figured out something that you might think, oh, she's probably a skeptic on this one, but I believe in it.
Okay.
Full moon and making kids go crazy.
Oh, no, I know you believe in that because you're a teacher. And you've been around kids.
I came home and said that, and James was like, I thought that'd be something you kind of, and I was like, no.
No, that's science.
It is science. It's a weird science, but it is science.
If you don't believe that, then you talk to a teacher or a nurse and they will tell you.
Yes, it makes people go crazy. And then it made me wonder, is that where like the werewolf legend comes from?
Or was it a real werewolf?
Or are we all just werewolves underneath? I could get on board with that because these kids were bonkers today.
I didn't even know it was a full moon, but that does make a little sense. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. It had to. I don't really know 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was a full moon. It felt like the full moon kid zone.
Full moon energy.
Oh man, full moon energy today. But survived it, hoping that the full moon was last night so that tonight maybe everything will calm down and by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
They'll be children again.
Honestly, our kids weren't wild today, so it makes me worry that either we've got one coming or I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I know nothing astrological.
We do live under the same moon, so it would make sense that it's still full moon for you if it is for me.
No, I'm just saying like the fact that your kids were all like jazzed up. But
yeah. They were jazzed. I was not. I was tired when I got out of the car this morning. And then as soon as I got in there, it was like, hit the ground running. I was like, oh no, not on a day when I'm feeling this tired. But
oh no.
Yeah, that tired didn't last long though. I had to get in the game.
Yeah. Well, I had to get in the game on Friday when we had a little bit too much fun on our movie night. And we have a new rule. Box wine is not allowed any night that we have to be functioning adults the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. New rule because we're responsible and we learned our lesson.
It is too easy to not keep track of how much you drink.
Yep. And it's so accessible.
And I was not my best self on Friday.
No.
That's the nicest way I can possibly put it.
Let's put it this way. By the end of the night, I was trying to force pizza down Erin's throat so that she would feel better. And she turned it away.
I was like, I don't want this. I'm like FOMO for sure. I never want the party to end. And I was like, I need you to go. I need you to go home.
Kicked me out of her house for sure.
Oh, it was not fun. It was not fun. The night was fun. The night was a blast.
Oh yeah, we had a great time.
Surviving the next day, not as much fun.
Right. So that's okay.
We're good now.
We are good. We have new boundaries, new rules. I feel like we set them every 3 or 4 months.
That's right. Sometimes we need reminders.
And it's okay. Yeah, that's what life is. It's learning and then being better the next day or the next movie night when you don't have the box of wine sitting on the desk.
That's right. That's right. We will We will do better. Poor Melinda. We had a new Patreon.
Oh my gosh.
And I am so sorry. I mean, we usually get a little sloppy, but we don't get. I just hope it ended.
I don't even remember it ending.
I don't either. I am telling you, it wasn't great. So Melinda, please give us another month. Give us another shot.
Oh my gosh. And one of you Patreons write in and tell us how it ended. Just see you kicking them all out.
It was probably part of the reason we watched an actual very scary movie.
Yes, we did. So there was a lot of drinking. Like, oh.
Yeah, normally we watch a movie that's like so silly that we just joke and we laugh the whole time.
Yeah.
And this one we watched The Conjuring, and that movie is scary.
It is very scary. So you were drinking your nerves away.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what it was.
Ugh, yikes. So we're back to happy movies. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, it was fun watching a scary one.
It was. That was a lot of fun. And it made me want to go back and watch that movie with James because he likes to jump and, well, he doesn't like to. He just does. He gets very spooked very easily. So
yeah, awesome.
So I feel like I might be cheating on you a little bit.
Okay, go on.
I got invited to River House tomorrow night.
What?
I know. And clearly the person that invited me, who is a friend and even came to our live show, must not listen to us because she didn't even mention in the invite what a big deal this is.
Okay, who is this and how much do I have to hate him now?
It's my friend Lane. You've met her a couple times, yeah, but she totally put together like a little birthday, like for all the summer birthdays we've missed.
Oh,
let's all get together for dinner tomorrow night at River House. And I read it and I was like, oh, it took me like a full day to respond because I really had to think about like, how do I word this? That I don't know if I'm allowed to go there until we have our crab dinner.
Allowed. We just can't. You can't do the tower.
We cannot do the tower. But I did think I could bring
maybe
our stickers or our new magnets that we'll talk about later.
Oh, well, drop the ball there. Just make the little announcement.
I know. Sorry, and that and maybe get them to listen. Somebody, a server, somebody there that could. You know,
okay,
so
all right.
We'll call it a work dinner, which then leads me to can I cover?
No, you cannot expense it.
I can't expense it.
We are saving up for our anniversary.
All right, fine, but if something comes of it,
okay,
then I can go back and comp it.
Listen, yes, if they come back and say, you know what,
free crab dinners, free life.
Oh, okay, great.
Then
yeah,
you'll comp that
I
will
comp that one meal.
Okay, that's
or if they say, you know, come back and you can get the tower.
Oh yeah, that tower
and all you can drink. Don't stop short. Tower, all you can drink. What else can I add in there? Maybe dessert.
Yes, but on a Friday or Saturday night because we're being responsible.
That's right. We are responsible people now.
So if they're like on a Thursday night, like,
we're gonna have to take off the next day. Then I guess.
Yeah, that's how we'll handle that. You are so smart, Aaron Taylor.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, yes. So that is a deal. We got that all checked.
Man, I can't wait to hear how it is.
I'm gonna work, girl.
You've
get
been
myself
there before.
Cat called.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's really fun. So, and they have a really nice outdoor patio area. So that's why she picked it because we wanted to be outdoors.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and I'm just gonna hustle. I'm gonna hustle left and right.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple drinks into that group of girls. And they'll all start hustling for me.
100%.
I mean, I don't want them to go overboard. By the time we leave there, they'll be like, oh my God, why are these people obsessed with River House? But it'll be fine. I'll work.
That's awesome. I love that. That's great. I'm not even mad at you.
Okay, great. Well, then
you did that well.
I was a little worried.
Nice. I just did yoga for the first time since June or something.
Nice.
I think maybe it's why I've gotten so stressed. Like I am pent up stress.
You needed the yoga to get de-stressed.
Yes. Okay. And I was yelling up at my children up until bedtime, like, stop fighting, go to bed. And finally I was like, okay, I made a promise. I'm going to try to get my exercise ring closed every day this week.
Good for you.
So I went to do my 20 minutes of yoga. I started it. I'm like in mountain pose. She's like, set your intention. I'm like, yes. And I hear, Penelope. I was like, you guys go to sleep. I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But you know what? I came back and I set my intention to be a peaceful, restful soul. So we'll see.
Oh, well, good luck and Godspeed.
Good luck. Because I didn't see them again, but I did hear Kevin yelling at them. So I was like, you take over.
Right. Well, that was you being restful.
I am zen. You handle our wild, angry children. That's right. So I'm like, all ooey gooey, relax.
Feeling all tingly and happy and restful and peaceful. And
That's
your
right.
husband is,
he is stressed now, and that's fine. Yes, I
Well,
pass
tell
the
him to set his own damn intention, and then maybe it'll work for him.
Okay. Well, what if he passes it back?
Oh, yeah.
Nope,
You guys
not
are
it.
just in a big old cycle.
Not it. Time to introduce a third into our marriage. I would take it.
Oh, yeah.
If they would handle all the parenting, I'm like, you do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, and then on the nights when you're too tired to, what's that sound that people make?
I
can whistle.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Hoo-ha, that's something. They do like a.
Oh, like a. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Can't do it either. But on those nights when you're too tired, like tag,
or like I don't know, spice things up a little bit. Who knows?
And the nights when you're really,
into it.
You've had that yoga, you're all zen. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little frisky tonight. Let's see where this goes.
Where's that third person we added? What's going on?
Tell them to quit doing the dishes and get on in here.
Except for them. Okay, we're stopping. We're gonna move on. Actually, we do need to move on because my story. I need you to prepare yourself.
Okay.
Like I told Megan, find the littlest story you can find.
And I did. It's teeny tiny.
It's a novel.
Okay.
I mean, like I read through it. I was like, there's no way. But then I read it and thought, I'm going to have to make it happen.
Nice. Okay. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Because I came in tired. So I can just sit back, relax, listen.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm setting my intention. Okay. Well, let's go. Zimmerman Art Glass is honored to memorialize your deceased loved one or pet by enhancing their cremation remains in beautiful art glass. Choose from over 150 glass designs, including custom jewelry, paperweights, and sculptures. Prices start at $40, allowing you to choose multiple pieces to share with your family. They are a third-generation family-run business dedicated to creating the perfect piece of memorial glass for you and your family. Visit their webpage at artzglass.com or call 812-738-2206. They encourage you to visit their glass-blowing studio to discuss your project and watch them work. They are located just 20 minutes from downtown Louisville in historic Corydon, Indiana.
Okay, so the only thing about the source of this is that I was hoping to never have to come clean to the fact that I do have another Twilight podcast that I pay. I only pay $1 a month. It's $1 a month.
It's getting out of control.
I know it is. I know. But it's $1 a month.
Okay.
And I get to join their little Discord, their whole group, like we do our Discord nights, but they're really active on there. They do all their talking on there with anybody who's a patron.
Okay.
If they pay $1, if they pay $10. So I get to be a part of that.
Oh, you feel so included.
I know. It's a bunch of people who like Twilight and think it's ridiculous at the same time. It's perfect. And it's only $1. If it was more than $1, I wouldn't have done it. But I was like,
I'm not judging. The whole time I'm just thinking, why could I care? I could not care less. It's not my money. But you know who else listens to this? Your husband. Just saying.
Well, it's fine. It's $1.
It is under the category of entertainment, which is important.
That's right. It's self-care.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, anyways, a bunch of great people on there. This person this is from is not from one of the podcast hosts, but I put a message out. I was like, any chance you guys have a story? And it's the only time I'll ask. And I promise I'm not here to promote me, but we do need stories.
As long as you're also not now here to just talk about Twilight.
No,
I'm down for all this.
I'm sorry. I went on for 2 minutes, but I'm back. I got the story from someone named G.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's how they say their name. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
There's also, because I pulled it and because I hustled, there's no oh, love your podcast or even sign off.
Just go in.
All right, here's
I don't
story.
mind that. That's fine.
But also, had there been, I don't think I could have read it. It's too long. No, it's not too long. It's so good. Okay, so here we go from G. Okay, so I'll preface this by saying there are so many nuances to Mexican folklore and witch, in quotations, spiritual practices, and this is not by any means to be taken as an all-encompassing representation. There are very many different types of witches, and many of their practices are really just indigenous practices that are demonized during colonization. There are many practices that are interwoven with Catholicism, and some that we do believe are just completely dark and negative magic. So we know that there are good witches out there. We've discussed that before. The one we're going to hear about, not so good.
Ooh, spooky.
No.
I like that they talked about, like this doesn't encompass all.
Right.
Did I tell you about my Appalachian?
Yeah. I don't know if you said on the podcast.
I don't think I did, but I joined this Appalachian witch group, of course, in the, I had an ulterior motive. I was going to try to
when you
hustle.
Started, you did.
When I did, I was going to hustle some stories, but then I got on there and I was so blown away by this little community and how supportive they were and how positive everybody was. And I didn't think I was expecting anything less.
Yeah.
But it was just even more beautiful than I thought it was going to be. So then I just felt really like, no, I didn't feel good about being in it. I felt like I was like, oh, I'm like intruding. So I came clean. I was just like, you know what? Here it is. Here's what it is. And everybody was so nice. So like, you were so welcome. Don't worry, and because I apologized kind of for like my ulterior motive. And they were all so wonderful. I'm like, people, when they get into these judgmental zones of these are witches, we miss out on so many wonderful people. So I think, I hear people constantly say, keep an open mind, but really that's what it's about right there.
Yeah. But close your mind to this one because it's scary.
Oh, okay. So now
I'm just kidding.
Now I'm going to open my mind to spooky witches to get the shit scared out of me. How about that?
That sounds good. Okay. Now into the story, but let me offer some context and setting. LOL. I am a very blabby person, so I apologize if this gets to be super long-winded. I am from Monterrey, a major city in northern Mexico, but my grandparents are originally from the Mexican state of Durango, both from very small and isolated towns. But my grandmother's hometown in particular is the very definition of small town. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that I might not pronounce all the names of these places right.
Okay, that's what I'm most excited about.
So her grandmother was from San Diego de Alcala, a tiny town tucked into the foothills of the western Sierra Madre mountain range. But my grandmother would just nickname it El Maguey. So every other year, a big chunk of my family and I would gear up to spend a week in El Maguey. It would be about an 8-hour drive from Monterey. When we would visit, you'd still have to basically off-road through barely there roads and rivers to get to it. And again, when I say small, I mean small. I mean, the most recent census listed something like 250 people living in the town.
Wow.
250 is even quite a jump from when I was there last, because ultimately it was just maybe 10 or 15 different families all living together in a small community where everyone knows everyone. We'd stay with my grandmother's cousin Lala whenever we would go, and she was a sweet, sweet woman who lived off the land, and we would spend our days helping her tend to her animals and basically chatting in the kitchen while we prepped meals. Evenings were spent in chairs outside, chatting it up and enjoying the cool breeze. Lala's house was the first on the main road, and directly across from her was an open field that led to the big hill. Kids in the town used the fields for soccer, but it was also just a general gathering spot since it was the first thing once you drove in besides Lala's house. So the men that rotated through the towns working in ranching or crop planting would get picked up and dropped off there. Since everyone knew each other, sometimes they'd stop by and chat on their way home if they caught us while we were sitting out, and Lala would offer them a drink and a quick bite, depending on the time of day. I spent summers there just absolutely enjoying the hell out of this town, running around unsupervised with all the other kids and teens in the towns, passing the time, playing whatever we could come up with, swimming in the river that ran adjacent to the town, or out in said soccer hill. There were black bears and snakes in the area, so we were always cautioned to not go up or past the hill, since in the case that something happened to us, no one would be able to see us or help us, but we were kids and ultimately did not give a shit. And because I was with all of these other kids, I wasn't afraid of exploring. There were enough of us that I was pretty sure we'd be okay in any case. Anyway, by the time nights rolled around, I'd be pretty much out cold as soon as my head hit the pillow, and I'd sleep clear through the night, just out of exhaustion. This one night, though, I remember waking up in the middle of the night with an overbearing sense of fear and anxiety. While waking up from a really bad nightmare where the lines of sleep and awake are blurred, I just felt fucking horrible. I tried going back to sleep a couple of times, but I just couldn't shake the feeling and I couldn't get comfortable. Eventually, I decided that maybe going to the bathroom to relieve myself and splashing a little water on my face would help. Lala's bathroom was a small little building on the other side of the courtyard. It was essentially an outhouse. She had a toilet, a small shower, and sink, and the plumbing would remove the waste into a septic system, but there was no running water into the bathroom. We'd use buckets of water, and there was no electricity in it. I knew this house like the back of my hand, and on the few times I had the need to use the bathroom in the night, I had never had a problem just bringing a flashlight and going by myself. So, as usual, I made my way out of bed and went to open the door to go out into the courtyard. And just for reference, I did ask them. G said they were around 12 when this is happening.
Okay. So just so you know, my ADHD brain, making sure the bathroom is outdoors.
Yeah.
And they're going, like she said, courtyard. So they have to go a certain distance.
Yeah, like across the yard.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not a long distance, but
kind of like our brother-in-law's house.
Right, in Mexico.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Which also, the bucket of water. I didn't know that trick. If you pour a bucket of water into a toilet, it flushes.
Totally flushes. You didn't know that trick?
I did not know that trick.
Oh, yeah. It's a good trick.
I was like 21 when I went, but I was very impressed. And now I know it.
Good trick to know.
As soon as I put my hand on the door latch, that feeling of fear just intensified.
Oof.
I swear it felt as if every single cell in my body was screaming at me not to open that door.
Then don't.
Now they put it in their head they got to pee. That's the worst. It was such an invasive and foreboding feeling, like it was telling me that if I open that door, something bad will happen to me. And so, of course, I just don't even bother. But I went back toward the bed where my mom had been sleeping next to me, and I woke her up, near tears, just saying something like, "Mom, I can't sleep. I'm just really scared. Can you come to the bathroom with me?" And of course, she's a little peeved that I woke her up from a dead sleep, and she tells me to just go. But I insist, and she finally agrees. She's just generally irritated, which, girl, yeah, I get it. She takes a while to put on her slippers and wake up a little more, and I'm just next to her calming myself down. So she's finally ready, and we grab some flashlights and make our way over. I'm holding on to my mom like a kindergartner that's getting dropped off on the very first day of school. LOL. Just clutching her side, and the night just feels so weird. It's dark. There are no street lights, so it's just whatever we can see in front of us with the flashlights, and the night is so still. Usually, you can hear the animals rustling from their pens or the rustling of the trees. Anything, but it's so eerily quiet that it just makes the feeling bubble up again, and I can tell that my mom is also pretty uncomfortable too.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Because up until then, I'm totally picturing mom like,
pissed.
Go to bed or just go to the bathroom.
You're 12.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You're 12. Go potty by yourself.
Right, but mom, because I am the baby, I could have gotten her to go, and if she was suddenly scared.
Yeah, that's when shit gets real.
Yeah, no, thank you. She shoves me quickly into the bathroom. We spend a couple of minutes in there, and as my mom is pouring the bucket to flush, we hear some rustling outside.
Oof.
I look at my mom, and she looks at me, and she just tries to assure me it's the wind, but I can tell she's freaked out. Oof. And again, there was no wind that night, and so still. But we wash our hands, and my mom takes the lead to head out of the bathroom. But she's kind of more aware than she was when we first headed out. And this time, she grabs my arm a little tighter and asks me calmly to point my flashlight on the ground so I don't trip on anything. Honestly, I think she told me that so I wouldn't look up and get freaked out in case we saw something. Oh, that's so scary. But we open the door, and I keep my head to the ground. Immediately, I feel like we're being watched. It's just as weirdly silent as it was before, but as we make our way back from the hallway through the courtyard, and it sounds ridiculous, but I feel the breeze behind us that crosses up, like the breeze you get if a bird were to take off near you or something.
So like something is like making a gust of wind behind you.
Yeah, like a flapping wind or like a wing right behind you.
Oof.
Like of a big bird, I would imagine.
A dragon.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something big. Pterodactyl wings. What are big enough to make that? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, we're going to get there. Okay, so they say, like the breeze you get if a bird were to take off near you or something. And there's immediately some more rustling toward the direction of the soccer field. Again, all this is mixed with the feeling of being watched. Just sends me into a panic, and my mom tightens her grip on my hand and again quickly ushers me in and immediately locks the door behind us.
Oof.
We get back to bed, but neither of us say anything about it. Like we're kind of both just hoping it was us being weenies. And
I love that.
I love weenies. And it was just a bird.
My mom mentions that it's late and I should try to go back to bed. But as she does, we hear the rustling outside, like it's right outside our room. But this time, it's followed by a weird thud on the tin roof and faint scratching and an owl hoot.
Oh my gosh, I was totally going to go owl.
Okay, well, do you know about La Lechuza?
No, did you know about the owl that, the murder of, is it an owl?
Oh, well, yeah. But in a lot of cultures, I think, I don't know if it's specifically Mexico, but in a lot of cultures, an owl is a very bad, dark omen.
Really? Because in our culture, it's like wise.
Right. I know.
Huh, it's so fascinating what beliefs can turn different symbols into.
So a lot of times, and again, this is an outsider's perspective. So I could totally be getting this wrong. But from what I know, from what I understand, it's if they see an owl, often they're like, okay,
like death.
Somebody's going to die close to us. Or, maybe it's them. It's an omen.
Oh my gosh. So wait, what was it called? You said
La Lechuza.
Oh, I love that. La Lechuza.
Right?
Okay.
So now they go into it here. Now, pretty much across all of Mexico, it is a standard tale that witches shift into owls. So I had never heard that it was witches.
Oh.
Owls are seen as bad omens, and you're told to always be aware of them if you see them too often, because that means a witch has taken to you and your bad luck will begin. This is usually believed to be followed by deaths around you, injuries, and just basically any negative event. So, of course, I freak out again, and my mom does her best to convince me that it's just a standard owl, and we are in the country, after all, and that it's nothing to be afraid of. I'm just so exhausted by this point that I kind of will myself to believe it and just focus on trying to subside this weird anxiety so I could get some sleep, which I eventually do drift off to, which makes me think I remember going to the park with our whole family and our brother-in-law Carlos was there. And do you remember him just staring at an owl? Like he kept pointing it out. And I remember that's cool. It's weird that owl's out at day and he would not let it go. And now I wonder.
Yeah, if it was like in his mind, it meant something more than just seeing an owl.
Right. Huh. I wish he had talked about it in that moment.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and ask him for sure.
Right. The next morning, I still feel weird, and I wake up later than usual. My mom lets me sleep in, probably assuming that I needed it, which I did. But by the time I get dressed, my friends are already in the courtyard waiting for me, so I get whisked away without getting to really talk to my mom about it. I don't bring it up to my friends. I don't want to be weird, and as the day progressed, I kind of just shoved it off to the back of my head. When I get back to Lala's house later, everyone is getting ready to sit in the courtyard for dinner, so I get my plate and sit down with everyone and tuck in. Around this time is when the men that work outside of the town start getting dropped off after the day's work. And like I mentioned, since they get dropped off on the fields and everyone knows each other, sometimes they stop by to chat. One of the men comes over to wish us a good evening and just to say hi and check in on Lala. After some chatter and talk with everyone, he kind of warns us to be careful tonight. Of course, Lala asks why, and the man brings up that in the next town over, they had a witch sighting the night before.
What?
I know. I mean, can you imagine?
Witch sighting?
Like, in our age, I don't know exactly how old G is, but
yeah,
having that just be a casual thing. Oh, well, I saw a witch. So,
look out. Look out.
Right? He mentions that the witch woman had been hanging around the town for the past couple of days trying to cause harm, but last night they were able to shoo her away, but cautions us to be vigilant. Sorry.
Hold on. I have so many questions.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, it wasn't an owl. It was a witch.
Yes, that's what we're thinking.
Right. It was a woman and that causing harm.
Mm-hmm.
In what way? Like,
well, it said looking to cause harm.
Like, was she homeless? And then they just thought she was.
I don't know.
And they shoot her away. I'm so curious. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, we get some interaction here. Just wait.
Okay.
So they were able to shoo her away, but cautious us to be vigilant in case she decides to come to El Maguey to cause harm here. At this, I go cold, and I see my mom is taken aback as well, but doesn't say anything yet. My stepdad and uncles are skeptics, so they start to laugh, and they end up just engaging the man in more talk. Eventually, the man says he has to get going and leaves. By this time, we're all done with our food, so we start cleaning up and getting everything together. By the time we finish cleaning up, the sun starts to set, and we all sit outside again to enjoy the breeze. While we're chatting, my mom decides to ask Lala if there is really such things as witches here. I mean, we all hear tales growing up, but because we had been raised in cities, for us, it was really just a tall tale. Lala's face gets very serious, and she says, "Oh, yes, they're very real, and we have a few witches in this area that like to try to cause harm.
Huh.
I've had a few steal my cows before. They take them, and the men that work in other towns have found a few of the cows flayed in fields."
Ooh, like sacrificed.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it doesn't sound like stolen to eat. I mean, flayed. That's awful.
I mean, filet mignon.
I mean, no,
Okay, go on.
not spelled the same.
Okay.
My grandmother chimes in and also mentions that they're real, and she remembers that even in her youth, while she still lived here, they had also been a problem. They both go into recounting their experiences from back when they were girls. They remember specific women that had been branded as witches, that some had even shape-shifted into their animal forms before them. Like,
what?
her grandma and Lala are saying, no, we've seen them change.
I need to hear their story. First
Right?
person, write it in.
How they remember these witches having to be chased from towns by literal mobs.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
crazy.
know. They mention people in the town that have woken up the next day covered in spit. And this is all in Spanish, so forgive me. Te va a chupar la bruja.
Wow, it sounded beautiful. Hold on. Who was covered in spit? Like people would just wake up covered in spit?
Yes.
Or the witches would wake up covered in
No,
spit?
people. Literally translates to the witch is going to suck you.
Ew.
And I'm
I
sorry.
mean, ew. That's disgusting.
And it's something all Mexican kids hear from their grandparents when they misbehave.
So it's like
a threat.
Yeah, but it's like when you say spit all over them, like slobber. So it's like they were like open their mouth wide enough to get like the kid all the way in their mouth, like
Ooh.
Is that what you were visualizing? Oh no,
I don't know. I guess I just pictured a lot of spit and didn't go deep into it.
Well, the witch is going to suck you, and there's a lot of spit all over you. What else does it mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, we're definitely talking to Carlos about this.
Right. But it comes from a warning that was used because it is said that this is how witches mark you for dark magic.
Ew.
Some even interpret this being that when a witch sucks, in quotations, sucks you, that she sucks your soul. And how sometimes the witch sucking you just means her killing you. My mom takes this time to mention that we had an experience last night, and I chime in to mention about all that had happened before I had even woken my mom up. Lala, again, gets very serious and chides my mom for keeping a closer eye on me, that witches are notorious for trying to hurt children, and that it would be best to not let me go to the bathroom by myself at night for the next couple of days. We then start talking about all kinds of paranormal stuff, and it gets to just being spooky stories.
Doesn't that sound like the most amazing night ever?
I mean, the best.
I mean, first of all, it sounds like the most amazing childhood.
Right.
Like
running around.
That land and the animals. I mean,
swimming in the river.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Like just coming back to the courtyard to eat.
Right.
And then enjoying the breeze. And then all of a sudden we're getting into paranormal stories.
Oh,
hello.
Right. Yeah, except that you're like actually living the scary stories. That part.
No, I'm down. I'm down.
Oh, okay. You say that. The witch is going to suck you. Okay, but okay. By this point, the sun had set, and we are all gathered in the courtyard with this one outdoor lamp again, just chatting when across the field we hear whistling.
Oh, Kill Bill style. Cat call.
Yeah. No, not the wind whistling, but a person. Lala's and my grandmother's heads snap up in the direction, and my uncle looks as well to try to see, but he gives up and just asks, "Who's that?" Because Lala and my grandmother seem to be very aware. Lala then goes, "That's the witch," and we all freeze. The whistling is still going on, like whatever it is really trying to get our attention. I can't make out a shape yet because the only light is really just lighting from our courtyard and just a little bit onto the road. But from the field on, it's just pitch black.
Oh my gosh.
My uncle just kind of scoffs and says, "There's no way that's a witch." And my grandmother basically tells him that it is absolutely a witch.
Oh shit.
Lala then screams, "Get the hell out of here. You have no business here." The whistling stops.
And get him, Lala.
Right? And I swear to God, the next thing we hear is this absolute insidious laughter.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Just the spine-tingling, croaky cackle that immediately makes you feel like you're in danger. Are you so excited to hear the story?
I have goosebumps right now.
I know. I was reading it like, what next? Okay.
Holy shit.
Lala then shouts back again for it to leave and tells it that there's nothing for it here, that this is a godly home, and if she even tried to harm any of us, that she will regret it. It
Ooh.
all goes silent, and at this point, I'm sitting next to my mom, clutching onto her, just frozen in fear.
Oh, I bet.
My mom looks absolutely dumbfounded, and so does my uncle, the
Oh my
skeptic.
gosh.
He's like, oh, shit.
I also kind of wish I had her mom right here with me.
I know.
So
Because she's probably like, I was so scared. You have no idea.
Oh my gosh. No, I just wanted to hold on to.
Oh, you want to hold on to the mom. You don't want to ask.
Mom. I don't care. I'm just like, just hold me.
Lala and my grandmother are both just furious. The whistling starts up again, taunting almost. Rustling sounds start up again, and it just sounds like it's getting closer. All of a sudden, from across the field, just past the road, is the barely visible shadow. This outline of a person appears.
What?
You can very clearly see that it's a woman, a small woman. Her hair is around her waist, and she seems to have a dress on. She looks frail, but that's all I can make out. It all fell silent for a second before this thing, person, whatever it is, just croaks out, Lala, how have you been?
No.
Lala immediately tells her basically to fuck off and gives her another warning. The thing just starts cackling again and takes a step closer. And now I can see it's a woman. She looks older, but not too elderly, with pitch black hair that looks scraggly. And she just radiates evil.
Oh my gosh.
She doesn't look like anyone I had ever seen in this town before. And again, I knew everyone here. I know for a fact that this woman is not from here, and she does not live here whatsoever. Lala yells at her to stay out there, and I see my grandma pick up a small rock, and I see her fling it in the direction of the woman. It catches her in the leg, and she immediately begins spouting some pretty freaking vile curse words at my grandmother.
Oh my God.
And it's just Lala, my grandmother, and the woman cursing at each other. And they're in essence telling her to fuck off and go the fuck away, and she just better not try.
I love these women.
I know.
They're amazing.
I know.
Oh my gosh, the bravery.
I know.
Wow.
The lady is basically screaming, fuck you, fuck your whole family, you're whores.
Oh.
Like some seriously vile
Lala's
shit.
not going to take that laying down.
I know.
Get
just
him, Lala.
wait, Lala. Like some serious vile shit has been said, and it was just loaded with all this malice and anger. Eventually, Lala and my grandmother both start flinging stones in her direction, and they just hear the woman say something like, I'll be back, you'll regret this. And from 1 second to the next, she just disappears. We're not done.
Oh my gosh.
By this point, we are all just freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting there speechless, and I could feel the adults were all just on edge.
Yeah.
My grandmother and Lala just looked like this is old news. And to them,
they've been here, done this before. You could tell. They knew what to do.
Right. It's old news to them, but everyone else is just looking stuck on how to process what just happened. Wow. And we just end up calling it a night. I'd be like, I'll call it a night, but you're all sleeping with me.
Right.
Like, I need Lala.
So we're all going to sleep in the same room, right? We're down with that? And Lala and Grandma are sleeping at the door.
Yeah, y'all need to stay awake. Yeah. I need you on guard.
Shifts, for sure.
Right. Lala just tells us to make sure the door is well locked and basically says that if anyone wants to use the bathroom, the time is now.
Yep.
While we're all still gathered, because she wouldn't recommend using it later at night alone. Wow. So we basically line up to brush our teeth, and Lala goes around putting buckets in room corners just in case we absolutely have an emergency.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And have to go so we don't have to leave the room. I'm in like a weird catatonic state still because I genuinely just can't believe the shit that has just happened. And my mom is trying to assure me that it's all good while we're in the bathroom brushing our teeth. LOL.
I love this mom. She's trying so hard. Like, why does this shit keep happening that I have to keep convincing my child everything's fine? At what point you're like, turns out I'm wrong.
Yeah,
shit's
time to run.
Let's get the hell out of here.
When we all part ways for the night, my grandma gives us a blessing and tells us one last time to just stay in our room. It's a Mexican household, so there's basically a minimum like 10 crosses hung up in the bedrooms. And my mom just tells me that I should feel safe and offers to say a prayer with me before we go to bed, so I feel better. We tuck in for the night, and I just can't fall asleep because I'm so on edge.
Yep.
My mom starts some small talk with me to try to distract me, and eventually it works. She's trying to lighten the mood with funny stories, and we laugh, and I start to feel better. But of course, sometime around here, we hear an owl again. It sounds nearby, like it's on the fence that blocks off the courtyard from the road. Before I even open my mouth to tell my mom that I'm scared, whistling starts up in place of the hooting.
No.
And at this point, I want to cry because I'm truly sick of this Scooby-Doo plot of terror.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Rustling starts up again, and this time the same disgusting cackle fills the air, and I hear wind before this heavy thump sounds on our tin roof, followed by the same scratching I had heard the night before, only louder, like something is really trying to tear its way in.
Oh my gosh.
I hear the cackle again, and I want to shit my pants. Well, good thing there's a bucket. My mom just tells me to pray through it. And so, like a good Catholic kid, I start reciting the rosary.
Oh, wow.
The scratching and whistling goes on all fucking night. It sounds like it's bouncing around from room to room. In Lala's house, all rooms are basically separate little individual structures. But I can hear her doing the same in every room and just making the rounds, so I don't get any sleep at all. By dawn, I hear the whistling die down and eventually just stop. Breakfast the next day, we all talk about the way none of us got any sleep.
Wow.
The skeptics in my family are even freaked out because at this point, they don't have any explanations. My grandfather this entire trip has been opting to go down to the river for his morning shower at like 5 a.m., tells us that he saw her fly off from behind the big hill, and we're all just like, no fucking way. We hear her at night for the next night as well, although not as much, and by the third night, she doesn't come back.
What?
All I know is that to this day, I have no explanation that even remotely rationalizes this experience for me. And the skeptics in my family on that trip came back at minimum believing in witches. I have not had a single paranormal experience in my life before then, and I have not had one since.
Wow.
I still feel like it was a fever dream, but if y'all want to chat about it or have any questions, feel free to ask.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we're going to chat about it.
I told you, it was like an epic story.
Oh my gosh, but it was so good.
I know.
Okay. Wow. When the grandpa says that he saw her fly off, when he says that, does he mean the owl?
I think he means the owl. But he's fully like, they are the same. Grandpa believes.
Okay. So my thoughts, my skeptical side in witches, and let me say this. Like she said in the beginning,
right.
We're talking specifically about this witch owl being.
Right. Like
in this
shape-shifting.
In this story. Right. Not like
the practice
of witchcraft. We're not talking about that. That's a separate thing. We're talking about this being a witch that can shift into an owl that is evil. But I will say, because the woman embodied evil doesn't necessarily make her paranormal. Okay. So the first, there are just really bad, evil people who want to cause harm. Mm-hmm. A person who flays a cow can be doing it out of malice. Yeah. That again is not necessarily like a paranormal witchcraft spell ability. That could
could be somebody who's like, I want to be this. So
exactly. That's what I'm picturing this, like the whole time this woman, she sounds scary as shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whether that means she has the ability to shapeshift or the ability to do spells or whatever, she's claiming to do.
Yeah.
The whistling part, it's all very creepy, but it to me, it still isn't like, oh, she is supernatural of any kind. The whole owl thing, I know it's a little far-fetched, but what if she trained an owl?
I knew you were going to say that.
What if it was her pet owl that she has trained to just claw when she gives a command?
That is, it's a possibility, I guess.
Okay, there you go. See, it is a possibility, but
it's a far-fetched one.
Or just that crazy-ass woman up on top of the roof.
Yeah, but remember she heard like the wind flap behind her and the whole night got still.
Yeah.
On the way to the bathroom. There's like so many layers to the story.
There really are. There really are.
Build that suspense.
Oh my gosh, that was an amazing story. So many layers. So many layers to the story. You could just go. So And I don't know. I don't think that I know. I'm like,
don't you? Yes.
No. Here's the thing: is that I get to this point sometimes where I'm like, well, what do you believe? Like, there is a big part of me that is inside of me that wants to believe in these things because they're fun. It's a good story, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Right.
But there's such a pull inside of me that's like, no, that's not real. That like grounds me all of a sudden. I think it's fascinating that she's never had a paranormal story happen to her before
Yeah.
or after. That's wild. You would think
Yeah.
like with such an experience, I could see why she's like, I can't rationalize it because,
Right.
Things didn't start happening afterwards that you're like, oh, maybe, something. It's just what an interesting story.
I know. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, there's no way. This is so long.
No, I'm so glad you took the time to read all of it.
As soon as I started getting into it, I was like, oh, we have never had anything like this.
No, never. And let me say this, Lala and Grandma.
Yeah. Badass.
Total badasses. And I want to sit down with them.
Uh-huh.
Corona in hand. I don't know how they feel about drinking. Catholics.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But whatever. Margarita, whatever.
I'll sit
tequila.
down with sweet tea. I don't care. I just want to sit with them.
Okay. That's true. I want to hear their backstory because they knew this woman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This woman knew them. They had this, they've been in this spot before.
Uh-huh.
So I want to know everything about that.
I know.
Ugh.
What a story.
What a story. And
God
love the mama who's like, just pray, honey. That's all we can do at this point. Let's just pray.
Right.
And we got
scared
crosses.
as you are.
But I will say, like, the amount of energy and we give to certain beliefs, like that those crosses were going to keep them safe. And then that's going to be what's going to keep us safe. And I don't know. It's all very fascinating. It's all very interesting to me how strong a belief can make something come to life.
Right.
It really can. And that's just so interesting to me.
I know. It is. It's so interesting. I love that story.
I do too. I want to like, we don't have enough time, but I want to learn more about the Mexican culture as far as witches and owls. I want to talk to her personally.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah,
you're going to have to join that Twilight fan. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, damn. I don't know if I want it that bad.
Long con. This has always been it.
It's always been it to get me into Twilight. Okay, so that story was incredible. It had an animal in it. Now, you told me, find the smallest story you can. So I totally did. Look how little it is.
Yeah, it all fits on one screen.
One little screen. But I found it like endearing. And it does have a good question.
Okay.
That makes me wonder where you stand on all of this because I don't know how you stand on it. So
okay.
So it packs a little mighty punch, even though it's tiny. Okay. This is from Vand. And I don't know where or how they know of us, but they do.
Okay.
At VAND, Vand.
I think they're from the same thing.
Oh shit.
They are totally
these Twilight people.
Thank you, Vand. I didn't even know.
Thank you, Vand. Here we go, Vand. No, I'm kidding. For real. Thank you, Vand. It's a great little post. Do ghosts exist? And can animals have ghosts? Even small ones like spiders.
Oh, like that cute little jumping spider on TikTok. I love that. Okay.
And I love this question because it cracks me up how people are like, oh, like dog people are like, oh, all dogs go to heaven. Right. And then cat people are like, oh, well, all cats go to heaven. But then see, but right. So where's the line? Like, I love that this is about a spider because it's like, where is the line? If one being can go to heaven, I feel like all beings should be allowed to go to heaven.
Sure.
Okay.
I guess.
But
right.
I don't think that everybody feels that way, which I think is so funny. I'm like, who made you the authority on what being or soul goes to heaven? Because dogs have souls.
Oh,
still out
100%.
Still don't know about cats fully,
yeah,
but dogs. Sure.
If they do, they're pissy souls.
They are, but you know what? I've known a lot of pissy people.
That's true,
and they've got souls too. And I don't want their souls to go anywhere but somewhere good. So there's
Okay,
that.
okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, cat people. I didn't mean to do it again. I did it again.
I did too. I always put a toe in, and I'm like, oh, I did have Polly Prissy pants for a
I
while.
know. There are cats who have endeared themselves into my hearts.
Oh, I hated
hate.
that cat. Oh no, I totally hated her. She loved me. I hated her. She was horrible. She was obsessed with me. She didn't love me. She was obsessed with taunting and being mean and scratching back my heels. And then I got rid of her, and she was like, we had a good thing going. I'm like, no, we didn't.
It was an abusive relationship.
No, we didn't. You were abusing me, and I'm getting rid of you, and you go abuse someone else. But I still would want her soul to go somewhere good.
Yes.
So Van just opens up with that statement. I love those
All right.
questions.
Okay.
And then they go into this. My friend told me the story of the time she was using her bathroom and killed a spider on the floor.
I'm so excited.
I know. I did not find this that funny for about 2 glasses before this wine, but now it's striking me pretty funny. This is already something I would never do, as I love and respect spiders. Me too, Van. Me too.
Oh,
I catch and release always.
I've grown an appreciation. I've got a little like a pet spider now. He lives right in my little shower window.
I'm so proud of you.
He comes out every once in a while. I call him Boomerang because he always comes back.
He sounds adorable. I'll have to go take a shower in your shower one day.
And he's kind of a perv. Every time I take a shower, he pops his head out. I'm like, all right, Boomerang.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Then I get a cat call whistle. Tweet tweet. Oh, wait, that's an owl. Oh, no, owls again. Okay.
Okay. So the friend has killed the spider on the floor. This is cracking me up now. But because it's so silly. But not to her. Sorry.
But not to Van.
No, not to the girl,
okay.
Not to her. She said, but as she described it, 1 minute later, she saw a spider identical in appearance crawling across the floor with an exclamation point.
Like a little deja vu moment.
Right. I asked if it might simply have been a second spider. Which it was. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But she assured me it was the first one's ghost. In a tone reserved for complete seriousness.
Oh, Van, how did you handle that moment?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love it because I love that Van believes her. I don't know what to believe. Of course, this sounds a little silly to skeptics. I mean, it has me in tears, but such as myself and the skeptical sister. Yes, it does. But my friend is not one to tell a lie or even exaggerate. I would love to hear both of your thoughts on this, Van. Oh, Van, I think you know my thoughts. I think I can just go ahead and say, I think it was a second spider.
My question is, did their friend go ahead and kill that second spider?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Therein lies like humanity.
Right.
Are you like, I'm going to kill that ghost spider?
I'm going to kill you. It didn't work the first time. I'll kill you again.
Right. Or are you like, oh, touche.
Yeah,
You're
time
the ghost.
for you to live.
Yeah, time for you to move on. Oh my gosh, that's a great question, Van. Definitely email us back because that was, first of all, a perfect little, I mean, it was tiny, but it was perfect. Oh gosh, it got me tickled. I read it, thought, oh, that'll do. And then I read it the second time. I was like, it is cracking me up.
Oh boy. I don't know where I feel about that because I can't imagine like my Mabel baby, Ellie, plug your ears, but my Mabel, sweet puppy dog of my life.
Right.
I can't imagine her not being wherever I am in the afterlife. Like, I think I'll probably go to heaven. I believe in heaven. I think she'll be there with me because I can't imagine heaven without her. I love that dog. And I'm sure the people who love cats feel the same. And even down to like, we just lost our poor Fred, our poor little lizard this week.
Oh.
Fred
Did Miles
away.
come over and smash his skull?
No, Fred.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. He looked like he walked through the sun. I don't know.
Oh, somebody turned the heater up. Your heater malfunctioned.
I don't know. It did not look good. Oh, I feel really bad. But
was it kind of crispy like jerky? Did you kind of
I did tell, you won't get this joke, but I said maybe you should have named him George because spoiler in Harry Potter, she named him after the twins and Fred doesn't live as long as George. That was a spoiler, but it's an old book, so guys, get with it. So anyways, I don't know. I mean, I feel like sure, why not?
Well, okay, so
I feel like a spider could go to heaven. I feel like it's a little weird for a spider to come back with like unfinished business and therefore to haunt.
so you gave me something like a second ago. You said something that made me think this could be like one of those Aristotle moments. Oh, like a philosopher. He was a philosopher, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I mean, we were asking.
Like the blind going right into this. Okay. But when you said like the reason why you feel like Mabel has a soul is because of how much she made you feel.
Yeah.
So is that what gives another being its soul, is how much joy it brings? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, so if you're a spider that can bring joy to something, is that what then makes that spider have a soul? My question for believers, non-believers, for people in between, for just the question is, at what point does a little tiny animal, like where's the line?
Right.
There is not one, because nobody really knows. And that's what's so interesting to me, is that I can remember going to church, and I can remember clearly in youth group being told just out of the blue, like the Band-Aid being ripped off, that only human beings have souls and get over it. Oh yeah. Like basically just like, that's it. That's all it is. And I remember being like, how do you know that? You know, like, how, again, what makes you the authority on this belief?
Yeah, I don't know about
being
that at
this
all.
cut off. So I don't know. So, but what you said a minute ago made me think like, well, I wonder if, I don't know.
If we had to go somewhere with this story, I don't know how much stock I can put in a spider ghost. But then again, some people have been like, I swear it looked like a cat walked across and there's no cats here.
Right.
You know,
right.
Okay. All right. It does seem weird and a bit of a stretch, but who knows? But it seems more like in the Matrix when that glitch and that same thing happened again. That's what it feels more like.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
It is very interesting.
Like some deja vu shit that's like, are we in the Matrix?
Right. Very scary. Like, well,
because also it wasn't like a floating ghost spider that was like, ooh, I'm being taken away on my web, and like I'm transparent. No, it was like the same exact spider crawling across the floor.
That feels like a glitch in the Matrix.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like if I was like drunker, I feel like I could get real paranoid about it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I watched that movie and I remember it was like mind blowing.
Right. Yeah, real scary.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I was like, well, isn't that better? I mean, like,
right.
There's a part of me that's like, okay, great. So I can just relax. Like,
yeah.
Maybe I am in the Matrix, and
and then
I'll
I'll just be like this in this little bubble and just enjoying everything.
Yeah, just don't point it out to me.
Right. I don't ever want to know.
I don't want any confirmation.
I don't want robots to ever enter into this equation in my brain that I have to fight off.
In fact, if I do know for sure, I'm going to have those scary guys with glasses. I don't want that.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
I don't want that.
Also, can you make my Matrix awesome?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Like maybe I get to go on more beach vacations.
Like maybe I can live with G.
Yeah,
maybe I can go with G and go live there.
Yes. Or like, those resorts that you always see where there's like their own little cabana out in the ocean. Can I go there in my Matrix?
That's my Matrix.
I'll never be able to afford that. Ever.
And I'll never question the Matrix. If I see a spider travel twice, I'll be like, well,
that's a ghost spider. Let's move on.
Must just be a ghost spider.
Time to pack for my vacation.
Possibly be reality not making sense. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, well, I think we've solved it.
Solved.
It was a glitch in the Matrix unless you live on a cabana somewhere in a beautiful place.
Right. I'll agree to any of it as long as I get a cabana vacation.
Right? Is cabana even the word?
I don't know.
I think keeping cabana boy.
Yes, I feel like I'm on the right track with that word.
Okay.
Okay, so my fan favorite this week is Jane Smith, which is so cute. Sounds like a little like a pseudo name, like a fake name.
It does. It really does. That's what you're like. I think you know of them.
Like there's a John Doe and a Jane Smith.
Exactly. I'm like, I think I know of them in movies. They say that all the time.
Yes. But Jane is new to our Facebook group.
Welcome, Jane.
Joined at the end of July.
Oh, nice.
And I've just been seeing them pop up a lot on our page.
Great.
And the other day, because I'm a weirdo, and when any of the pages I'm on is like, I need podcast recommendations, I will scroll through and be like,
did anybody plug us?
Anybody? And when they don't,
we are total dorks, and we fully own it and appreciate it. And I feel like our listeners, who wants like to be, I'm a fan of a podcast, and they don't even recognize how dorky they are. All those big podcasts do that too. They just don't put it out there like we do. Let's just go ahead and say that. Okay,
that's right. So I looked, and nobody had said anything. So I was like, okay, well, here, I'll plug my own. Here it is.
Right.
And almost as soon as I put that, Jane commented, I just got on here to comment, to recommend you.
That's awesome.
Like, oh, thank you so much. So I asked Jane what they wanted to promote. And they said, I'm so honored. Thank you. I don't have a business or anything, but I would love to spread awareness for the importance of good mental health. I would also like to add that if your listeners or someone they know are struggling with suicidal thoughts, they should use the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. There are a couple of ways that you can get help. You can call the hotline at 1-800-273-8255, or you can chat using the website at suicidepreventionlifeline.org/chat. For more information, please visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. To whoever sees this or hears this, you have impacted more people than you can imagine. You are loved, you are wanted, and you have a place on the earth with us.
Jane, that's beautiful.
I know.
So very true. I mean,
so good.
So very true. I won't go into much detail, but my little family has been impacted by suicide, and isn't that the truth? I mean, it is. You don't really know what kind of impact you've left or that you've marked, and trust me, it is a big one.
Yes. We love every one of you guys.
Yeah. And just day to day, like you are here for a reason. So
yeah.
I'm so glad that everybody is. And Jane, thank you so much for bringing that. For sure.
I know. I read that and thought, oh, I knew I liked Jane.
Yes, me too. And full disclosure, because I am a dork, totally going to Facebook stalk you later.
We do, everybody.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you become a fan favorite, I'm like, let's check out Jane. Let's do. Oh, look, I totally agree. I'm not really, this is me pretending, because this is how I'll be later on. But I'm like, oh, I agree with everything. Look at all of her little political views. She's great. I love it.
Yes.
Welcome.
Surely.
Welcome, Jane. Welcome.
Yes. So thank you guys so much. We do have exciting merch news. I held it up like it was a visual podcast.
Yes.
I'm now holding it in the air. So we have had stickers for a while. We are going to lower our price of our stickers to $3.
Mm-hmm.
We also just got big news. We got magnets.
Yes.
We're going to sell those for $4. And a little special Patreon perk.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who is a Patreon in September, even if you are a existing Patreon, you're going to get a brand new magnet sent to you in the mail. So
that's right.
Yeah. So I'm really
excited. Also, if you have not, I'm sorry, just talked over you, but
no,
if you've not become a Patreon and you've been kind of waiting,
yeah,
now's your time, because you will get one as well.
Yeah, because in September we'll send you a sticker and a magnet along with our card.
Boom,
bam,
shaka-laka-laka.
Oh, that was weird. Okay. So if you want one, and you don't want to become a Patreon, no pressure. Just send me a little message, direct, and I will tell you our Venmo information, and we'll get one sent out to you. So remember, $3 for a sticker, $4 for a magnet. So that's our merch news. Maybe someday we'll get big enough for shirts.
Oh, I love the magnets though, because I'm not much of a sticker person.
Yeah.
So, but a magnet, I love that. So there you go.
Yeah, I know. Connie specifically has been like, I just wish you had magnets. So,
yeah. Well, it's a commitment. A sticker is a commitment.
Right.
Like at any point, if we say something offensive, you can just rip us off your refrigerator and throw us in the garbage. And I'm down for that. That's my kind of level of commitment. I'm like, oh shit, they went there.
Oh no, we won't though.
We won't. No, we won't go there. But if we do, you always you have that option, which is nice in a magnet.
You're non-committal. I get it.
I'm very non-committal. In recent years, I've become a little more committal, but it's fine.
Yeah, I just have to say, Connie, you're not allowed to hang it up at school, because I already had my 5th graders. They came in and I was like, guys, we're going to have,
podcast day. You all get to listen to my podcast. Earmuffs on the cuss words.
I said, we're going to do this collaborative work, and my favorite subject, which was going to be all my students, because they were going to put little self-portraits. It's a beautiful wall. I can post it somewhere. But we made this beautiful wall of like rainbow colors, all these self-portraits,
It
like
is so
over
cool.
500 self-portraits. But before I said, anybody want to guess what my favorite subject is?
Oh no.
But went ghosts, and somebody else went podcast. I was like, I need you all to stop.
How do you all know this about me?
I know. They were like, well, we know you have a podcast. I was like, y'all are not allowed to listen.
No.
You are not allowed to listen.
You know they are.
They were like, well, why not? We're in 5th grade with the big kids now. I said, maybe next year. I'm not your teacher next year.
No, maybe when you go to high school. Maybe.
Just, I cannot be your teacher while you're listening to this. I said the F word like 7 times tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not going to hold back. So what I've decided is in my professional career, I'm just going to keep my maiden name, Clem.
Oh, smart.
Isn't that? I mean, I've waited for them to switch over I'm just going to send another request. Sadly, like nothing bad has happened with me and James, but I'm still going to be like, please do not change my name. I've been waiting for 5 years now and they've not done it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, don't do that. I'm just going to stay Clem. I'm going to have a pseudo name, which is Clem.
Right. There you go.
And then I'm Mattingly in this world.
So that when we get huge.
Yeah. And then I'll like dress with a like little mustache and be like, you don't know me.
We're incognito because we're so famous.
That's right. That'll happen.
So anyways, we have merch. Don't hang it up if you work with me at school. But otherwise, put it on your fridge. It'd be great. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, all at My Skeptical Sister. And you can become our Patreon if you'd like. We would love to have you. You get a magnet this next month. Come on, guys. What are you waiting for? You can rate, review, subscribe. We would love it. We've been stuck at 101 for a little while now, which is amazing. It's great for a little podcast, but it's always fun.
Come on now. I mean, what's the harm in reviewing twice? Can you do that?
No, I don't think you can.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
I know. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried.
Real quickly double our numbers.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. But so just get on there. If you don't have an iPhone, take somebody else's for just a few minutes. Just take it. Leave it nice.
Sharing
unless you don't really like us, in which case,
just keep that thought to yourself.
Send us an email. You can be mean to us in an email. Don't put it on our reviews. Please send us your emails. We have gotten some great stories in lately. We've got some more material, but we always need more. So send it to myskepticalsister@gmail.com. I think that's it. You got anything else?
Just have a great night.
All right. Bye, guys.
La 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 la.
San Diego de Alcala.
Okay.
Which of course means a whale's vagina. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I thought you said. San Diego.
San Diego, a whale's vagina. My favorite line in Anchorman. But not Alcala. That's a different place.
Totally different whale's vagina. Than
not even vagina related, I don't think.
Okay.
But my grandmother would just nickname it El Magawi. El Magui. I can't be right.
Gooey, let me see it.
Maguey. Magui.
Not it.
That's not it.
El Magui.
I'm so sorry.
El Magui.
In case she decides to come to El Magay. Magay, right? Okay.
Keep saying it. You'll get one of them. Filleting a cow.
Flaying. They're not making steaks.
That was a cough in my throat. Filleting?
Flaying. There's no I. It's just flay.
It's always fillet to me. Okay. Filleting sounds exactly the same.
Flay.
Fillet. Okay, they sound so much the same. Okay.
Lay down.
You better, or else your soul might not go somewhere good.
Hey. Yeah.
I would love to hear both.
Had that spider attack my head. What's
It's right. It's right. It was on your glasses. Oh my gosh, I'm
What
gonna pee
was
my
it?
pants. It was on your glasses.
Was it a spider?
I don't think it was a spider. It was a little moth. Oh my gosh.
Do you have to go pee?
No, just when you make me laugh that hard, my bladder is like gonna release it. Oh my gosh, but the funniest part of that is like you're like, I respect spiders too. I'm just
If I know where they're coming from.
you flipped the fuck out. Get it. You oh, you were ready to kill that spider. No respect for that. But sure.
Would have gone to heaven.
Oh my gosh, that's true. Oh man, I don't even know where I left off. And this is such a short little email.